Good evening, I'm Simon Mercer, and this is Sunday. Tonight, the good doctor who plans to detox the nation to demonize binge drinking.
Doing nothing is not an option. We have to stop the bleeding.
He sees the damage drinking to get drunk does.
STDs or pregnancies, they're so drunk they can't remember who they had sex with.
He wants help.
We, the politicians, lack courage.
He wants our heroes to step up.
I'm trying to put Richie McCaw in the corner here.
And young girls to think again.
A lot of people would say 15 partners at the age of 14 is promiscuous.
Dr. Albert's personal prescription for binge drinkers. This week we were confronted with the disturbing and tragic detail of a 16-year-old who drank himself to death at a party. It was a sad indictment of our attitude to alcohol. On the back of that episode comes another equally disturbing story. Girls as young as 12 getting pregnant while drunk and not remembering who the father of the child is. The story's told by Dr. Albert Makairi, a Timaru gynecologist who every day sees firsthand the damage caused by booze. Now he's on a mission to change our attitude to alcohol, to stigmatize binge drinking. John Hudson with the story.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
Albert Makairi is a man with a dream.
And hope was high and life worth living.
Just like Susan Boyle's song, he says, it's about a life worth living.
She didn't look like much of a singer to start with sing, and I don't look like much of a thinker, but hopefully I prove that I'm not as stupid as I look.
Albert Makairi dreams that all New Zealanders will stop drinking to get drunk.
And once the message spread that this is stupid and you are an idiot to drink to get drunk, and their idols are saying this, you will see that the tidal wave will be stopped. This is a symbol.
But right now, he says, binge drinking is creating a nightmare.
Other people do not wake up from this nightmare and they lose their children forever.
More than 300 people have turned out at Timaru's Theatre Royal to hear Dr. Makairi's sobering facts about hard liquor.
There are 700,000 binge drinkers in New Zealand, and out of those there are 250,000 alcoholics.
We've all seen the pictures. Drunks in the street, out of control. In hospital emergency, being patched up. In the courts, sober and remorseful. And the funerals, when they're dead. We all know the problem, says Dr. Albert. Now, it's time to act.
Doing nothing is not an option. We have to stop the bleeding rather than keeping giving blood transfusion.
The way Dr. Albert Makairi sees it, New Zealand has a major problem with alcohol. And it's not just the obvious side effects of addiction, depression, violence, but also a full-blown social disease that is affecting everyone's ability to enjoy life. Even sober people, even babies that haven't been born yet. And it all starts, he says, with the idea that it's somehow normal, even good, to get drunk.
We have to think about our social illnesses in the same clinical way we think about our physical and medical illnesses. This is not a natural disaster or a disease which we cannot combat. This is avoidable.
Albert Makairi sees the consequences of binge drinking that most of us don't. He's a gynecologist.
The volume of the problem increased significantly, and the age is going lower and lower and lower. The endocervical canal was cauterized.
In the 18 years Albert Makairi has been practicing in New Zealand, the number of teenage abortions has doubled.
Guess what happened? You get intoxicated or drugged, and the inhibition goes out of the window. So the men start to behave like the ram in the paddock.
When they're under the influence of alcohol, they often forget the messages they had in the sex education classes, like protect yourself against STDs and pregnancies.
Timaru GP Dr. Tracy Chandler is right behind Albert's campaign. She also sees the same problems in her surgery.
A lot of teenagers I see come in with STDs or pregnancies, unplanned pregnancies, don't even know who they've slept with.
They're so drunk they don't even remember.
Yes.
She estimates 15% of 14 and 15-year-old girls are sexually active.
About half are having sex in a state that they're so drunk they can't remember who they had sex with.
Do you ever have sex after you've been drinking?
Sometimes, but not usually.
Not always.
Yeah.
She's 14, lost her virginity at 13.
Just the one partner, or
Mm-hmm.
more than one?
Yep.
How many do you think?
15.
15 boys.
Yeah.
We can't identify her. She's still legally a child, still at school. But already she's had an STD and a pregnancy test.
Have any of your friends got pregnant?
Yep. 2 of them.
2 got pregnant, yeah. Did they have the baby?
One of them did.
With unwanted pregnancy, the baby will suffer and the mother could suffer. But promiscuity, the girls suffer and the whole society will suffer as a consequence. The girls fail to maintain long-term relationships and the family, as a building block of the society, disappears, disintegrates.
A lot of people would say 15 partners at the age of 14 is promiscuous. Do you see yourself being promiscuous?
No.
How would you describe yourself?
Experimenting. Yeah.
I think sex education in schools is part of the problem. It's promoting promiscuity, that it's okay to have sex as young as you can, as long as you don't get an STD and as long as you don't have an unplanned pregnancy.
So they're being told do it, but do
keep
it safely.
safe.
Safe,
Yes.
but in fact it's not really safe at all.
No, particularly when they're under the influence of alcohol. They often forget the messages they had in the sex education classes.
And also it's illegal.
Yes.
Someone's raping you, really, if you're 14.
Yes, and I don't think they quite realise that.
Do you think you could get married and live for the rest of your life with one person?
Yeah.
What sort of person would that be?
I don't know.
You're not sure?
Why you are saying more damage now is that in the past, this used to be a problem for the boys and the men, and the girls used to put the brakes. While now, the girls are very much into the game, and it takes 2 to tango.
Binge drinking, promiscuity, unwanted pregnancy, sexual disease. Sounds like a teenage problem, but the fact is that 90% of New Zealand's binge drinkers are over 20. What's new, though, is that they're starting out drinking to get drunk younger and younger. Does anyone here has not drunk alcohol at all in their life?
It's not me.
Now they're over 16, these high school students can be seen talking about alcohol.
You've all drunk alcohol at some stage, at some level, yeah. And do you think that people of your generation, your age, have issues with alcohol or not?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Yeah.
By 16, most of them have been totally trolleyed at least once.
It's become quite a bit of like a rite of passage in New Zealand. You know, if you hold your liquor, you are sort of successful.
It becomes like a kind of what you've got to do more than anything. Like, you're not the cool kid if you're in the corner just watching. You've got to be the one that's drinking and the one that's being the party.
And what were you drinking? What's...
RTD, so vodka mixed with like flavouring.
That's the popular drink?
For girls, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there's a danger with girls who get absolutely plastered and then sleep with a guy that they don't know and...
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Well, I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can fix it, though. I guess you've just got to hope that your friends are noticing and looking after you at the party.
They're clearly influenced by peer pressure, but also by advertising.
A lot of ads about. There's the ones about bringing mates.
Mate.
I see it as in it's fine as long as you've got a sober driver. I've never thought of it as in it's going to affect me just because I'm drinking.
Would you agree with that, or...?
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think the ads on TV at the moment just encourage it. Just the whole binge drinking.
And then there's the $100 million spend on ads that are supposed to encourage drinking.
You cannot fight something like binge drinking while you are advertising for it every day. You have to stigmatize it, and you stigmatize it through discrediting the ideology that in the pursuit of happiness, people do not have to be drunk or plastered or wasted or trashed.
After the break, is New Zealand ready to stigmatise binge drinking?
We, the politicians, lack courage.